I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing while we remember those who have passed. Donald R. Churchill. And Carol A. Fuentes. Okay.
Is that Carol's mother? Really?
Roll call. Mike Machetta?
Here.
Paul?
Here.
Bill?
Here.
Cassie?
Here.
And we have the full board. Fire exits are directly behind me here. Don't use the elevator if there's an emergency. Correspondence, we have none. Attorney concerns?
No, that we haven't resolved.
Petitioners, this is the time for people that are in the audience in the building or on Zoom, where you would come up and state your name or come up to the podium, please.
3 minutes, sure.
Hi, my name is Peter Sullivan, and I'm here with Keith Hunter. And we're coming to just present ourselves to you and talk to you about a new Rotary Club that we're forming in the three-town area of Wawarsing, Rochester, and Marbletown. Keith and I are longtime members of Walden Rotary, and I recently moved to Accord, so I'm all about getting a club closer to where I live now. And we're excited to do this. What is Rotary? Rotary is an international service organization. We've got 35,000 clubs in the world, and spread across 220 countries. We got 55 right here in the Hudson Valley area, but only 5 in Ulster County, which is a shame. We need more, and there's a lot of opportunity for growth. And one of the targeted areas is right here. And as you know, everything is on the upswing here, so it's a beautiful time to do that. So we're really anxious to do this and excited. We've got a plan here. We've got some brochures that are going around. It does say Rondout Valley Rotary, but that doesn't have to be the name of the club. It could be Ellenville Rotary. It could be whatever the group decides. So we've got a couple people interested now. We're hoping to start with 3 or 4 people, start some meetings later this month. And when we grow to 20, then we can get chartered as our own club here and be off on our own and be part of that 55 group. And that'll be an exciting time. Keith can tell you more about what an average Rotary Club looks like and feels like, and we'll just spend a couple minutes doing that, and then we'll take any questions. I have these brochures and business cards for you.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Town of Wawarsing. Thank you. What does a typical Rotary Club do? In Walden, probably the main steady diet of something we do on the most regular basis is we work with our Town of Montgomery food pantry. Our Rotary Club basically trucks all the food that is distributed at the food pantry in Montgomery from the food bank in Cornwall. So once or twice a month we go down there with trucks and load 5,000 to 10,000 pounds of food and keep the warehouse at the food pantry stocked. Because of the great works they do, we wanted to affiliate and help them. Other things we do, every year we do a back to school backpack giveaway. You know, it's a carnival atmosphere, water slides, free haircuts, all kinds of goodies. And we give all the kids backpacks full of school supplies. We do a pretty extensive coat drive that we work with iHeartMedia and Empower Duchess. And this year, I think we handed out something like 4,000 or 5,000 coats. They were all donated. Some of them were lightly used, some of them were new. We had, with our friends at the food pantry, we set up a drive where we handed out bags of groceries, gift cards to the grocery center, and all kinds of coats and hats and gloves. Sort of a cute thing we do every year, we go into our local elementary schools and we go into the 3rd grade classrooms and give each kid a dictionary. We look up a few words, and most of them have never seen a dictionary, so something we do there. Every club decides what they want to do. They base it on the needs in their community and their abilities within reason. And our motto is service above self. And it's just, business owners, professionals, it's just concerned people in the community that want to be part of something a little bigger than themselves. And we like to have fun and do good things. And, it's a great feeling that comes with doing meaningful community service work. And also, I would have never met this guy, who's become like my best friend.
Yeah.
And we're kind of an odd couple.
We were the ones that started the food pantry runs that we started 10 years ago.
10, 12, I don't even know.
Whatever.
So since then, we've transported over 1 million pounds of food. And again, we go there shoulder to shoulder, and we're hucking cases of spaghetti sauce and turkeys and all these kind of things. And it's just a great feeling when we see the community, benefiting from this. It doesn't cost the taxpayers $1, and it's funded by our community. So that one we really like, because we're not in anybody's pockets, and it's where the rubber meets the road.
And we especially like partnering with others in the community to get projects done. So it's not just our effort, it's a combined effort of lots of people.
We hand out several scholarships to high school students. There's also an internet, it's called Rotary International. So most clubs do 80% or more of their efforts locally. But we will partner with clubs around the world where they've maybe had a natural disaster, or right now we've all been asked to come up with meaningful ways to help the situation in Ukraine. And we're partnering with clubs in Poland and the Eastern European countries to dispatch, again, humanitarian aid to them. But the grassroots of what we do, and the most thing we do, is work with other local community organizations. We do fundraising to support the libraries and domestic violence shelter. We give out our funds based on what the members of our club want to do. There's no Rotary police, there's no Rotary, you got to do this, that, and the other thing. They give us pretty much free reign. And you can, Pete's been to Haiti.
I've been to Haiti, I've been to
Puerto Rico.
For disaster relief.
We've had members go to the Philippines working with Doctors Without Borders. Of course, like New Orleans when there were hurricanes, things like that. Again, if people have that light in them that they want to do something on that level, there's a Rotary Club in every corner of the world, except for North Korea, Yemen, a couple places like that we're not welcome. So again, this is very exciting, and it's a huge honor for us to have the opportunity to plant a seed and start a Rotary Club that'll be here hopefully long after all of us are gone.
So our contact information is in the brochure. I got some cards here as well. I'll leave out for those who didn't get a brochure and answer any questions. Sure.
So this is the first act, for sure me, I don't know if any other board members have been aware of your Rotary and any presentation whatsoever. What would you expect from the town of Wawarsing? Or what are you looking to do? Just to acknowledge or recognize your group, or ask for assistance, or?
We're looking for members right now to join in, to want to be part of the initial organization. And then it'll be those members who really decide the future of the club. So once we get the members organized and we get out and understand the needs that you all know about, so we'll be talking to you probably further, and then we'll put together programs of what we want to accomplish as a club. And we'll go from there. So right now we don't have any firm plans. We're just trying to get a critical mass so that we can get going.
So you already have the existing club, but you would be designing or creating a club in?
Yeah, we have a lot of support
the
from
village, the town, multiple towns. What?
Well, we're targeting the three towns: Wawarsing, Rochester, and Marbletown.
Okay.
Because they're underserved. We have clubs in New Paltz, we have a club in Kingston, we have a club in Phoenicia, Walden, Middletown.
Right.
but nothing right here. So it's a great little spot. Walden would be the host club, because there is this transition stage where you can be a satellite club of another club. So when we get 8 members together, we can be semi-official. We can swear people in as Rotarians, but they would be part of the Walden Club temporarily, and maybe in 6 months, a year, however long it takes to get up to 20 members, then we'll apply for our own charter, and we'll be equal with everyone else. So that's our plan. Sure.
Would volunteering at a warming shelter, coverage, anything, or maybe at a emergency shelter, would that be
All
something
on the
that?
table.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's what's near and dear to your heart,
Sure.
you know.
And
Well, I personally, I chair of the food pantry right at the church across the street here. We do about 25,000 meals a year. And
Yeah.
we go pick up our food.
You go to
at-
Latham, or?
We go to Monticello or Kingston or Goshen.
yeah, you haven't dropped, yeah, I was treasurer of the Montgomery Food Pantry for 12 years, so.
I heard they're moving the warehouse to
And they're
Montgomery.
moving the warehouse to Montgomery, yeah. So I know your pain, I know your volunteer spirit as well. So frankly, that's where a lot of Rotary members could come from, existing organizations like yours. You know, people who are already giving of themselves to an existing cause, and they want to come on board with Rotary too.
I like that.
Yeah, sure.
It's amazing. We have an amazing amount of energy and volunteerism right now in the town. And I think it's awesome what we're, I guess, wanting to be. There's, Bill talked about his food pantry. There's another food pantry at the church I'm a member of. I think there's a couple other food pantries in the village and the town as well. So this community is loaded with people right now that want to give. And it's awesome. I guess you mentioned that you kind of work with these other organizations. I'm a member of the Noonday Club, and there's some other board members that are too. So, we've got, like I said, there's a tremendous amount of energy. The only thing I want to make sure is that hopefully we kind of all row in the same direction.
Right. And that's why I talked about partnering.
Yeah.
Because we'll be extra arms and legs for things that are going on here already, probably.
Okay.
As opposed to inventing totally new things.
Bring it on, as far as I'm
But
concerned.
then there'll be opportunities that come up,
Yep.
and we'll be extra people that can help respond.
I'm here basically because I just bought some investment property in the village of Ellenville on Burleson Ave. And so I've been dealing with Mike Warren a bit. And he's just shared with me some of these programs. And he said there's some food pantries that are affiliated with like an organic farm or something.
Yep.
So in the last couple of months, as an overspill of our coat drive, we had a ton of coats left over.
Yep.
So I'm over here working on my building a fair amount. So I kind of wandered into the Community Action Committee and the Family of Ellenville, as well as the Ellenville Housing Authority. And so I think we've probably brought at least 500 coats to the Family of Ellenville. I think we brought maybe 20 or 30 turkeys and probably 20 or 30 bags of groceries and so on. We brought smaller loads to the Community Action Committee, and I don't think the Ellenville Housing Authority really, they're like, hey, we got stuff for you. They're like, oh, okay, we'll take it.
Anytime you want to wander over to here and
Absolutely.
with coats or anything,
Yeah.
we give out coats.
Yeah, we do too.
On a continual
okay.
basis.
I have a couple hundred sitting in my office that I,
We're over here on Thursdays and Sundays.
at the church.
Yeah, Thursdays from 9 to
Directly across the
10:30.
street.
Yeah, I saw the
With the Knights of Columbus, we have a coat drive too. So as I said, it's really exciting living in this town with all the enthusiasm and excitement that this town has got as far as giving to people and helping the community and everything. So
But that was a good part about Walden, because we knit together with a lot of the groups in town. Like, we have a Bruderhof community locally, and they are tremendous givers of their time and their talents and their money, and so they helped us out a lot. We volunteered for the Salvation Army to ring bells and collect money for them. It's just joyful to do it together with other people that way.
awesome.
Thanks for-
Thank you.
So we'll be around, follow
Thank you
very much.
if you
Thank
can.
you for your comments. And yeah, and again, we're just looking for people that may be interested, and we can talk further about it and see if we can get a club rolling here. And again, it would just be a real great honor for us to be able to do this. And go Wawarsing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Super.
Thank you very much. I'll leave it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do your business then. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Anyone else?
Anyone else in the building? Step up and mention the mayor of Ellenville?
Good afternoon, good evening. I am here on behalf of Digna Sanchez and Lori Sala. I raised this issue before. I know we have a couple of new members that weren't here for the last time we discussed this matter. But basically, to give you a real quick history, in around 2000, Digna Sanchez, along with other members of her family, would come up to the town of Wawarsing every year and set up campers at a property in Ulster Heights in around 2001, 2002. That property was sold, and the Sanchez family still wanted to continue coming up to the Wawarsing area. So they purchased a property on Spook Hole Road, about 47 acres, so that they could 57 acres, so that they could have a small family campsites. And after a number of years going before the planning board, they got approval to set up basically 18, is it?
16 sites.
16 sites for campers on that property. You need 15 acres to have a site like that under our current zoning code in the town of Wawarsing. So their 57 acres clearly was more than enough to do that. As Mrs. Sanchez got a little older, the small campers that she in became a little more uncomfortable, and she decided she wants to be on the property and she wants to put a mobile home there that she could reside in. Made a lot of sense. I initially had a meeting with Mary Lou Cristiani and the then head of the chair of the planning board, and we talked about a subdivision. They said, subdivision sounds silly. It's going to be the same property anyways. Why don't you just amend the site plan to allow for a mobile home on the property? Made a lot of sense. Made the application, and it was then determined that there's a provision in the law that prohibits any permanent residence in a campground, a mobile home park, a temporary mobile home park or campgrounds. So in and of itself, that's a pretty silly rule, because I can tell you the campgrounds across this country all have a lot of structures in it that have to be protected. They all have people that are there that basically caretakers, and there's always a provision in literally every law that allows at least one residence on the property to oversee and to protect it. I mean, you have 16 campers that sit on that property year round, and literally between September and May, nobody's there. So when we told we couldn't do that, the problem with the property is you have 200 feet of frontage coming in. The law requires 200 feet for the campground, so to subdivide, we wouldn't have enough frontage. So instead, we came before this board for an open development permit. Again, be the same thing in the same place, other than making it easy, so to speak. So I came in, Mr. Collier, very eloquently at the time, looked at the law and said, why is that in there? There should be at least a provision to allow a permanent residence in there. So I thought at the time I left, there was a consensus of the people here. Listen, we're redoing the zoning law. Just let the committee know, and we'll try to fit this in. So since that meeting of about a year ago, I probably sent 10 letters to the town asking what's going on, what can we do. Mrs. Sanchez calls me up at least twice a month. I'll go with twice a month. Crying, listen, I'd like to come up. I already bought the mobile home to put there. Mr. Kaplan, please. So I'm here again. there's really no reason that anyone has ever explained why you couldn't have at least one permanent zoning code. It's a rather simple one. There's a statute that prohibits any permanent resident just to allow one caretaker / owner. It doesn't have to be, that you rent it out to anybody. Just let the owner have a caretaker in a mobile home park or a campground that has enough room to afford or support it. And obviously 57 acres with 16 in a little small area of that where she has her campers has more than enough room for this. So that's why I'm here tonight, and I would hope the board would consider moving forward with an amendment so that Mrs. Sanchez can enjoy her property. Okay?
Thank you.
I appreciate it. You want to say anything?
Well, there is a bit of a circular zoning law in there that says we're allowed to have up to 3 structures that are available year-round for year-round maintenance and upkeep and stuff like that. But then at the same time, it also says that it can't be a permanent structure. But obviously for up here, it gets pretty cold and the pipes can be pretty unsafe if it's not winterized in the proper way. So I would just like the ability to do that, to provide that for the one structure. And although it wouldn't be her primary residence, it would be a bit of a residence. And I also have other family members that are elderly and a bit that require a bit of accessibility. And the trailers have become a little difficult for those family members regarding wheelchair access for obvious reasons. I've never seen really a wheelchair be able to roll into a trailer. But
You're talking camp trail.
yeah, like just a camping trailer. Yeah, walking up the travel trailers and stuff like that. And these 16 sites do sit on not necessarily compressed, they're all well spaced with generous spacing, but they sit only on about 2 or 3 acres. And that includes the septic and the leach field as well as everything. So there is a bit of land in the back that we like to keep protected because it is still wetlands. And we have a lake, a bit of a lake that was formed by beavers, and we love that kind of stuff. So if we can just continue to work on our little section and not aggravate any further of the property and keep it in its natural, we really appreciate that.
So you're saying that you have 57-acre parcel, but it's the development of the motorhomes for temporary stays are in 2 acres.
They're not motorhomes. These
No.
are just places.
They're
Mobile
just,
homes.
yeah, they're
Camper trailers.
travel
Yeah.
trailers,
Similar.
A little step above a pop-up trailer.
Yeah.
just about.
And about the fall down, that we want to be able to clean our road.
Yeah, it turns out that you guys had a little bit of wind up here.
A little bit.
Some trees came down, I see. We was able to see that today in coming here to meet with you guys.
And
So I'm able to tell my contractor, make sure the road is clear. There's a tree that came down. It requires him to come out with workers and stuff. So if we're around year round, then we're able to keep on top of that, as well as keep the snow plowed because it piles up here, which we appreciate. We like the snow, but just if a car can be able to go through the inspector or whatever it is that has to pass, then that would be better, or an ambulance, God forbid.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
have a good night,
You
everybody.
too.
Any other petitioners?
Yes, me.
State your name and your concern.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Manella. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak this evening. Hope everybody's well. I am a lifelong resident of Ellenville, and I'm petitioning tonight on behalf of Camp Shawanga, where I work. I've worked for the past 5 summers. I sent an email a few weeks ago regarding wages for employees of Camp Shawanga and how I felt that they needed to be more competitive with other area places where the kids, counselors in particular, are going to be working or are working already, they're mostly getting paid, $15 or more. And I felt that we needed to be a little more competitive rather than risk losing some very, very good youth that works for camp and works with the children in our community. But as I was going over the agenda for this meeting tonight, I felt compelled to come on because when I see that the summer employees or the ones that are hired to do like, mowing and weed whacking and like the parks and cemeteries, things like that, I guess that's summer employment. When I see that they're making $15 an hour and that our counselors are not, that to me signals a bit of a problem, because I don't really feel that people understand the tremendous responsibility that these teenagers shoulder being a counselor. I think people feel like camp is all fun and games, and it is. It's a great program and it is fun and games, but for the counselor, it is a lot more than fun and games. They are literally responsible for the safety and well-being of a group of children that is in their care for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And to the degree where they have to go through a mandated reporting class even before, as you know, camp even starts, which is something that mostly is done by adults. This is a very adult responsibility for them to have, especially if they have to enforce that mandated reporting class, God forbid. And just the responsibility and stressors alone of being a counselor. Some of them maybe have never been a counselor before. Some of them are returning. Regardless of that, it's an extremely stressful environment and a delicate balance situation. And I believe that really entitles them to make at least $15 an hour. And I feel that they should be at the top tier of that, even over those people. Nothing, not to take away from those people, of course, but I just feel like kids that are coming and saving for college or whatever other life events that they're saving for, they're learning skills that you can't learn in a lot of other places, should be making more money. Not to mention, of course, the rest of the employees, but I'm more focused on the teenagers, the people that are counselors for us, who also may not be aware just by their age, that they can even advocate for such a thing. They just haven't been in the workforce long enough, and they just sometimes don't know that they can advocate for such a thing, which is why I'm advocating on behalf of them. So here I am, again, advocating on behalf of them, that I really feel that the board should look into paying them at least minimum of $15 an hour. They deserve it. They need it. I think the job that they do warrants it. And I appreciate being given the opportunity to speak this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? All right, let's go to the meeting, beginning of the meeting. We have a resolution to approve to designate the supervisor as a certifying officer of the town of Wawarsing for Honkston Sewer Plant Sludge Dewatering System, CDBG 1215 PR 83-21 project.
I'll second it.
As he makes a motion, Paul seconds it. It's a roll call vote. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That resolution is carried 5-0. Resolution hereby resolves that the town of Wawarsing has determined that the Kerhonkson Sewer Plant Sludge Dewatering System project be declared a Type 2 activity for the purposes of seeker, and no further review is required.
I'll make that.
Second it.
Paul makes a motion. Cassie seconds. It's a roll call vote again. Michael?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And I vote aye. That resolution is carried as well. Resolution, the town board approves and endorses the application for a grant under the Hudson Valley Greenway Planning Grant Program for a project known as the Wawarsing Ellenville Signage and Wayfinding Project.
So moved.
Second.
Bill makes that motion and Mike seconds it. It's a roll call vote again. Michael?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. There are no budget modifications? Bill, there is, okay. Which, wait. Okay, let's get that out there. Got a copy of it?
Got it. Pass it over, please.
Okay, we're ready. We have one budget modification. Nabanock Sewer SS1 increase the expense code 8130.2 SS1 Nabanock Sewer Equipment $80,400. Increase the appropriated fund balance 599 SS1 $80,400.
Jackie.
Modifications to cover the expenses of a T76 T4 Bobcat compact track loader. So, Bill made the motion,
Sure did. I'll second it.
and Cassie seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
That budget modification is approved. Town board to approve the bills as audited. We have at least 3 signatures as of this afternoon. Do I have a motion to,
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to accept the minutes of February 3rd, regular and audit, February 8th, budget workshop, February 16th, special workshop, February 17th, regular and audit, February 28th, workshop. That's 3 through 7.
Make a resolution to carry 3 through 7.
Second.
Make a motion, not a resolution.
I'm sorry, motion.
Okay.
Second.
Mike makes the motion and Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve Patricia Cook, assessment field worker, to attend a course entitled Fundamentals of Data Collection given by New York State ORPS. The course is virtual from March 28th to April 21st. There is no fee for this course.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes a motion, Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve Robin Coleman, Municipal Code Officer, to attend the 35th Annual Hudson Valley Code Enforcement Officials Education Conference on April 27th, 28th, and 29th at the Poughkeepsie Grand Hotel, Poughkeepsie. The cost is $300 per person. A town vehicle will be used for transportation.
So moved.
Mike makes that motion.
Second.
Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the purchase of 501 child safety kits at $2 per kit from Every Second Counts, LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Bill makes the motion, Mike seconds it. Can we have a discussion for a second from Jackie maybe on the safety kits that we're proposing?
Okay, so this is, we think, a good idea to have for summer camp. We're going to have the spring fling on April 30th. We will have a officer from the sheriff's department there that will be doing fingerprinting that day. They've even spoken to Sam about possibly having a K9 demonstration also that day. So this is something that we will have to give out. People can come that day. We will also have them available through the summer camp throughout the season, and any other function that the town has that if we have leftovers, we'll have them. We'll have them to give out to the parents to have.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea, Jackie. Thanks for leading the charge on that. I think it's really important, so.
Thank you.
All right, so Mike made the motion, Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve Shawanga Garden Club to plant a tree at Redmond Park on April 29th in memory of Dale Craft.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the pay scale for the Ellenville Wawarsing Youth Commission and the Parks and Recreation summer laborers as follows. Recreation, recreation aid, new hires are $13.20. Recreation aids returning is $13.20. Recreation aid of attendant is $13.20. Recreation specialist is $15. Support custodial municipal food service is $15 per hour. Municipal food service manager, $20 an hour. Assistant recreation director, $19 an hour. Seasonal laborers, parks and cemeteries, $15 an hour. We had a conversation prior to the meeting. We can go with this, or I could suggest that I believe the first 3 items are 16 individuals. Is that correct?
The first 3 are 36,
36 total individuals is projected to be hired in the first 3 categories.
36.
Yeah, first 3 categories. That's projected, depending on stat, depending how many registered kids we have. So she's projecting that she'll hire 36 people across those 3 categories.
Yeah.
I'd like to table this motion for discussion.
Okay.
I don't think we're ready to vote on this.
No, I'd like to
Okay.
table this motion for
All right,
discussion.
so yeah, we'll have some, we have it, I believe, until at least April, I believe. So there's thanks, for any kind of conversation that we've had from the public and people directly involved. The town board is going to look at this. We're very close to making a judgment. In the past, we are increasing a lot of these things from $11.20. So we have to be cognizant of, the budget, but also we have to be fair across the board. So we'll table this motion and.
You gotta vote on the table.
I know. I have a motion to table the.
My motion to table.
I'll second it.
Number 12. Mike makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That's carried. Number 13, town board to authorize the town clerk to publish a request for qualifications, RFQ, legal notice advertising for engineering services for a Cohasset Sewer District Collection System Improvement Project, Phase 2, that will be submitted through CFA 2022 in July of 22. This RFQ is for a project not yet funded, but process is being undertaken now in order to show readiness to proceed.
I'll move it.
Cassie makes a motion.
Second.
Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to accept the deed of dedication for public highway purposes from Alice Walsh for the extension of Shift Road, which said designation has been approved by the highway superintendent, Tony Pays, and authorizes the supervisor to execute the transfer documents.
So moved.
Second.
Cassie made the motion. Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Town board to approve the agreement between the town of Wawarsing and Bonaire and Larios to undertake preliminary investigations, studies, and analysis for preparation of an engineering report for the Cohasset Sewer District Sanitary Sewer Collection Systems, Phase 2, in the amount of $8,320.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes a motion. Cassie seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion's carried. Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute a grant closeout paperwork for the Joseph Y. Resnick Airport Pavement Management Project, or Program AIP, grant number 3, 360201-037-2020.
Move that.
Cassie makes that motion.
Second.
Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve payment number 2 in the amount of $180,203.01 to Aventus Construction Company, Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment Facility and Well Field Plumbing.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes a motion. Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to accept the following request for qualifications submitted on Friday, February 18th. 2020 in the town clerk's office for engineering services regarding a grant for New York State Office of Community Renewal for Cohaston Sewer Plant Sludge Dewatering System, CDBG 1215 PR 83-21 project. Vanessa Larios and Labella.
Move it.
Cassie makes a motion.
Second.
Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. Town board to approve Vanessa Larios to perform engineering services for the town of Wawarsing for Cohaston Sewer Plant Sludge Dewatering System, CDBG 1215 PR 83-21 project.
So moved.
Second.
Bill makes that motion and Cassie seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone not wanting to vote aye?
I'm going to abstain.
Abstain. Okay. So that's 4 yes, 1 abstain. Town board that motion is carried at 4-1. Town board to accept the resignation of Patricia Cook from the Board of Assessment Review effective March 1st, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Mike makes the motion, Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that motion is carried, and Pat Cook is now an assessment field worker. Therefore, she had to step down as an assessment board of review participant and member of that committee. And we welcome her to the town of Wawarsing as a data collector. She's doing a good job so far. She sat with the village manager and the village building department and had a meeting today with the village on a number of items, and that was brought up, and it's a good employment opportunity for the village and the town. Town board to approve an event entitled Spring into Recycling, sponsored by the Ellenville Wawarsing Youth Commission on April 30th, 2022, from 11 to 2 p.m.
I'll make the motion.
Cost not to exceed $1,000.
Second.
Paul makes the motion. Bill seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion's carried. We have no other motions to correct. All right, so at this time, the highway superintendent can...
I'm good.
Okay.
Really good.
Tony's good.
Tony's great.
Mike Machetta?
Just a few things. First of all, Tony, great job this morning. A lot of people in the village don't know what kind of ice and snow there was outside the village. I know heading up 52, Craigsmore was a surprise this morning. Driving through the road, a wet road, all of a sudden turned to ice and snow. But great job by the guys once again. There is just a reminder. There's a Ellenville Chamber. There is an Ellenville Chamber of Commerce mixer. I'm sorry, Chamber of Commerce mixer is going to be held in Ellenville at Roma time on March 31st at 5:30 p.m. Go into the building department. They had a pretty busy month in February. Had 25 new permits issued, 89 inspections, and 13 closures of permits. Office is doing pretty good there, very busy. As far as emergency services, I'm sure a lot of people heard the whistles going off like crazy around town here the past couple of weeks, and everybody's been asking what's been going on. We've had quite a few fires. I just want to say thank you to all the municipal fire departments that came out to help: Craigsmore, Napanoch, Cohaston, Accord, Somerville, even as far as Woodburn, which just brings me into the next thing. It's that next month in April, and every year in April, is what's called the Recruit New York, where we try to recruit new volunteers to come into the fire service. As we all know, we're full volunteer service, and it's getting harder and harder to get more people to come out to volunteer at a time. It does take a lot to become a volunteer firefighter, but there's a lot of young kids coming in now, a lot of juniors coming in out to our department that we haven't seen before, which they see what's out there. Once they come in, they can find out if it's really for them or not. But we're just asking if anybody is interested in volunteering, please get in touch with your local fire department. We can use as much help as possible. That's all I have for this evening.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have one more thing. I'm sorry. I did get a letter that I was asked to read by the Kraft family. If you wouldn't mind me reading it real quick.
Sure.
Dated to the Town of Wawarsing Board regarding Dr. Richard Kraft, 1932 to 2021. Dear board members, while there are many people who love and have served our town, there is no one who has loved it more than Doc Kraft, a true hometown product. His life was one of service and giving to others, a true ambassador spending his lifetime sharing the positive attributes of our town wherever he traveled. He chose to make this a better place to live and to do business, challenging others to do the same. His legacy needs to be honored. We, the family of Dr. Richard Kraft, request that the town of Wawarsing recognize the impact his life had on our community with a permanent recognition. Our input on such a decision would be appreciated. Respectfully submitted, Dr. Mark Kraft. Along with the letter, he also sent a list of lifetime achievements that I guess myself and Terry had spoken to him about, which we'd like to put in this when it comes time. I'll submit this to the supervisor. Thank you.
All right, so Paul?
Yeah, I guess first comment I'd like to make is about Doc Kraft. Doc was one of my mentors as I got involved with the community, and I really respect what Doc did for the community and how he helped mentor me in my roles that I've become part of as part of the community. One other item that I'd like to talk about is I'm the transfer station liaison, and we're having the spring fling and the spring into recycling on April 30th, which Jackie talked a little bit about. That's going to be going on from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., combination of Littman Park and the transfer station. It's an opportunity for us to do our spring cleaning and get recycling and other materials that we want to dispose of taken care of. The transfer station is quite an amazing operation in the way it's run. I don't know if all the members of the community are aware that we do have the town transfer station, but if you've got anything from old refrigerators, old furniture, if you've got tires, which I know even Tony utilizes the transfer station. Sean told me the other day that we inherited a bunch more tires. We've got roughly about 400 tires right now that are at the transfer station that are going to be removed shortly with a company that we're working with. So the transfer station, by the way, is also very much acknowledged by Ulster County Resource Recovery as probably a model transfer station in the county. We get nothing but praise from the Ulster County Resource Recovery, and I give a lot of credit to the employees up there at the transfer stations, especially Sean, who manages that. So kudos to those folks there, and hope to see everyone on April 30th for the spring fling and the spring into recycling. There'll be more details coming. Bill?
Thank you, Tony, for your crew taking care of some trees, dangerous trees up at the cemetery in the past couple of weeks there. That's an ongoing battle with tree limbs falling down and trees that need to come down. Our youth commission meeting has been moved from the 9th to the 16th because I'm not here next week, and I appreciate the fact that they moved it so that I can be here when we have the meeting. And hopefully in the near future, we'll have some more information on the pools, especially the Ellenville School pool there, to find out which direction we're going to head as far as repairs or replacement in the future. And we haven't heard back from Ulster County, have we, Terry, on the Office of the Aging or the
No, not yet.
thing? So looking forward to that.
Tim Wiedemann, the Economic Development Director, was the contact that we had, and he's connecting with them.
That's all I have.
This would be Cassie Spores time.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to let everybody know is that today the valve
between the Cohonson Water and the new Wawarsing Water District at Cupid Barrack was turned on. That transmission line that runs down 209 all the way to George Young Boulevard is now got water in it. It's got to be treated, and there's some testing that's going to be done on it, but there's water in that line, which brings us one step closer to getting the people on 209 anyway, their service connections. We have a bid opening on Friday, tomorrow.
Yep.
And our project's moving along, and it's super exciting that, the main transmission line down 209 is charged. It'll be even more exciting when the filtration plant of our own here on Institution Road is up and functioning, because then we'll be using the well water up to the tank and out to people. But it's nice to have that transmission line charged. A lot of people stop by my office to talk to me on a daily basis about everything that they think needs to be done in the town, and government moves slow and is cumbersome, and I have a great team here on the board that helps me navigate what we can do and what we can't do, and because like all people out there, I want to fix everything and I can't do that. And I want the public to know that when you bring us stuff like the pay scale for the summer crew, we really work hard at coming up with a workable solution, because we value the people that come to work for the town. But it isn't a black and white matter, so to speak. It's very gray, and coming up with a working solution for both the town's budget and for the staffing needs that we have is a partnership, and we need to remember that when our emotions run high. So bear with us. We're going to get this figured out, and I know that we won't make everybody happy, but we will do our best. And that's all I have tonight.
Tomorrow we have civil service giving us some information about the HR person. Is that accurate?
Actually, that's been moved to Monday. They need one extra day, so we'll have information on that on Monday.
Okay, I was one of Cassie and I's liaisons. Paul, how about broadband or IT? Is anything in the last couple of weeks that we've discussed that's
Nothing other than our friends at Charter Spectrum are exasperating. And I can't wait for alternative solutions to come online, because they're very exasperating to deal with. We're in the process of actually trying to help the county map out where we're not covered currently as far as broadband access goes, and I put a request in for Charter Spectrum to actually help us with that, and they essentially decided to decline my request. So we're going to do the best we can to help March Gallagher update the maps, but it would have been a lot better, I think, for the residents and for Charter Spectrum if they were more cooperative with us, because the ultimate goal in doing what March is asking us to do is there's a lot of federal money around that's out there, and we want to understand where the community is not covered, so that when we go as a county and as a town to try to get grant money to basically make broadband a utility like our electric and other services are, something that all this federal funding could help pay for. But for some reason, they're very reluctant to give us assistance. So we're going to do the best we can. If there are any members of the community that don't have broadband or know of people that don't have broadband, and right now that's primarily means that you don't have a Spectrum cable line outside your house. I'd like to know about it. Terry'd like to know about it, because we do want to try to help March in getting the best information on these maps, so that when we do go for federal assistance, we've got the most accurate information possible.
So you mentioned March Gallagher is the county comptroller?
County comptroller, yep.
Okay. So that's good that we're developing relationships with the county in this respect. Bill and I are attempting to get relationships with the county. We already have the Economic Development Director's Office assisting us in a big way with Cresco Labs and Neville Somerset Partners. And we hope to have more of that. And I think the town has taken off, the village has taken off. We met today at 4:30. So this is the end of the meeting, but at 4:30 we started with the village for about an hour and a half. And we discussed working together on particular issues. Some of the issues we talked about today were Parks Berm Road agreement for an outside user, a budget for the Berm Road Park as far as maintenance, as far as the school using the property to, design the field or re-improve the softball field for their own purposes of the school classifications of different age categories and ability levels. An adult soccer league was brought up, from people that are actually coming in from the town and from, excuse me?
Softball.
Softball league.
You said soccer.
Softball league. Yeah, you said soccer.
My
Softball
mind
league.
said softball. It was softball.
Didn't make it to your tongue.
And, yeah, so that ball field's been used for softball for a long time. Because I remember playing there a long time ago. And so we discussed.
Soccer or softball?
I don't play soccer. But the emergency
That guy
shelter
was-
next door, the Hunt
That guy
Memorial
didn't show up,
Building.
did he?
The Hunt Memorial Building is next door, and there's an emergency shelter there money was separated out from New York Rising Stream Restoration Plan of $3 million for the village, $3 million for the town. 500,000 was diverted to that building and 700 from the village to the tune of about 1.2 or 1.3 million dollars for an emergency shelter. We discussed, the ability to use the building for that purpose and warming centers. Mike and I have had, as far as emergency services, we've had meetings with all 4 fire districts in the last 2 weeks. We had a meeting to discuss the emergency services plan for the town of Wawarsing, which dates back to 2007 or 8 or 9. And the county emergency services under Everett Erickson, Mike Gaffney and Mike Madison are being involved in this process, so we have good leadership from that standpoint. And we thank, Mike for stepping in on that with his experience in the fire districts. Intermunicipal agreements, we have really pretty much no intermunicipal agreements presently, because some of them, the ones that we did have for building department and water and sewer dated back to 2009. The highway department over the years has, under Tony and previous highway superintendents, have chipped in here and there and worked with the village on occasion. But it's, these 2 meetings that we had last month and then today, we're establishing parameters and procedures for moving forward with shared services. Shared services are good for the village and the town, but they have to be legally binding and specifically described as what can be done and what can't be done. That's some of the things that we talked about in the village. We have another meeting planned, and we're going to have some subcommittees to discuss some of those issues that I just brought up. Mike talked about there's at least 5 fires within a few days. And we'd like to thank all the volunteers and the leadership of all the 4 fire department personnel and layers of administration in those 4 districts, as well as the
EMS also.
the EMS and shared other townships and fire departments. So we'd like to thank Ellenville, Apponaug, Kerhonkson, and Craigsmore, and then the other ones out of the town of Wawarsing that actually have come and helped out. Dr. Kraft and Dale Kraft. Dr. Kraft and Dale were lifetime residents here, and I've talked to Mark Kraft, Dr. Mark Kraft, the chiropractor, and J.D. Gillette, who's his son-in-law. Have some ideas. Everybody got a letter that Mike read tonight. That's a good start as far as what his lifetime achievements were, and we're going to build on that and present a honorable recognition of Dale and Dr. Kraft. So At this point, I think that's all for tonight, and we need a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
Mike
it.
makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.